Let's get some weirdos here at Starbucks trying to get me to say something about them. It's kind of a catch-22 because the very racist bastards think that, trying to make me out to be something that I'm less intelligent than. The skanks included. And I've noticed that the women involved with these people are very dumb. They only care about fucking others to get information out of them. La Ashley, La Kelly. Bitches are embarrassing. Who the fuck loves the Quins? Throw some dogs at them. Maybe they'll be hot and bothered and they'll start fucking the dogs and they'll probably jump in the lake somewhere. Lady of the Lake was my luck. And I don't mean any harm by Lydia in the Lake. They seem to be pretty decent. I'm not into mysticism or stuff like that. I think the kind of stuff they sell in there kind of actually pretty neat, interesting. So, anyway, La Ashley, La Kelly, and their mother Veronica is embarrassing what they are. The freaks have one of the worst reputations around, and it doesn't get back to us. You'd be surprised what gets back to me, and I'm not related to you, bitches. Anyway, what was I going to say here? I found the Race Together part of the paper at Starbucks on Bundy in Santa Monica, and it says Race Together, race, get the way around, Race Together. And it says, I wanted to bring it up because it's the first time I see this in a Starbucks. And it says, why race together? There's the CEO. Why race together? At a recent Chicago town hall meeting, Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz listened as employees talked about the effect of race on their lives. Racial diversity is a story of America. Our triumphs as well as our faults. Yet racial inequality is not a topic we readily discuss. It's time to start. Conversation has the power to change hearts and minds. It says here conversation, underscore that, okay? At Starbucks, and it's pretty straightforward, the paper. That's my own little quirks, quips are my own deal, Sylvia, Lydia, Morelos. Conversation has the power to change hearts and minds. At Starbucks, we've seen this firsthand. Recently, I apologize for my broadcast being a little bit late. I was kind of falling asleep inadvertently, against my will. So, at Starbucks, we've seen this firsthand. Recently, as racially charged events unfolded across our country, we felt a responsibility to act. To start, we called our partners, which the word is in brackets, employees. To start, we called our partners, employees, together and invited them to express what they were thinking or feeling. In forums from Oakland to New York to Chicago, as well as St. Louis, people shared personal experiences and ideas about how to move our country forward. Men and women from backgrounds as diverse at America's own populace spoke about their childhoods and their neighborhoods, their fears and their hopes. Each story, each voice offered insight into the divisive role unconscious bias plays in our city and the role empathy can play to bridge those divides. In most of the cities we visited, we also met with senior police leaders to hear their concerns and share what we were learning. At USA Today, while covering those dramatic news stories in Ferguson, Missouri, and New York City, among others, we committed to telling the story of the changing face of America. We use our graphical and human storytelling strengths to help our readers understand the underlying issues that have brought us to this place. We examined our nation, community by community, to help every American learn about each other and rise above bias. What more can we do together? Race Together is an initiative from Starbucks and USA Today to stimulate conversation, compassion, and action around race in America. First time I've seen this in a Starbucks. And this was the one on Santa Monica and Bundy a couple of weeks ago, and I tried looking for it again. It's not there anymore. And I think some of the staff there has something to do with it. Over the next year, we plan to do just that, using all of our strengths in publishing and in stores across America. Our companies share a philosophy. Elevating diversity is the right thing to do. Wow, very nice. but it is also a necessity. Our nation is only becoming more diverse. To ignore, dismiss, or fail to productively engage our differences is to stifle our collective potential. Very cool. Diversity of thought and skills lead to more creative ideas and higher performance. Bias, even unintentional slights, sap our potential for shared responsibility while denying our shared humanity. For all our country's progress, barriers to social justice and economic equality exist in far too many corners. And by the way, affirmative action is not going to help the situation any. This is personal. It takes away from our talents and our skills when we're presented with challenges. That's all I'm saying. I don't like being condescended to as a minority myself. So I'll get back to something that happened to UCLA with regards to that later. It's just a side note for myself. The following pages reveal this reality. For all our country's progress, barriers to social justice and economic equality exist in far too many corners. The following pages reveal this reality. Today we invite you to read this special section, then share your thoughts with family, friends, strangers, and with the country. And please see the back page for ways to send us your feedback. Race Together is not a solution, but it is an opportunity to begin to re-examine how we can create a more empathetic and inclusive society, one conversation at a time. It is by Howard Schultz, SCHULTZ, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Starbucks Coffee Company, and Larry Kramer, President and Publisher of USA Today. March 2015 is the date, Starbucks and USA Today. Very nice. This is what I found. Very cool. This is Why Race Together. It's also very cool. And now they're quieting down back there, are they? I'm glad I kept the copy because I found it in my storage when I went there to put my stuff away. So thank God for big favors. And no, I thank God for small space. I love my storage space. One thing that I'm really looking forward to. USA Diversity Index. USA Today Diversity Index. Something's going to threaten me. What is the chance that the next person I meet will be different from me? On a scale of 0 to 100, the chance that two random people are different by race and ethnicity. The 1960 National Index number, they have a map for that. And they have a 2010 National Index number. And then they have 2060, a projection into the future, 2060 National Index number. It says down here, the Diversity Index, a tool exclusive to USA Today, expresses as a single number, not a percent, the level of racial and ethnic diversity in a given area. That's the Diversity Index. Explore your county at usat.ly/diversity. As the sources is the Census Bureau, NHGIS, University of Minnesota, Proximity 1 in Alexandria, Virginia. And here is the index. You will see it on this page, which is really cool. And there is one map. There is the other map. It's really cool, and it has a scale of 0 to 100. The chance that two random people are different by race and ethnicity, and according to the scale, it's a different 1960. Wow. 2010, very nice. It's becoming more diverse. It's just a matter of it's just common sense. It's just it's not a process of elimination. It's not a survival of the fittest. It's just it's just the way the world works. And it's kind of. And this is the shit that I have to deal with on a daily basis. This is the shit I have to deal with. Excuse my language. This is what I have to deal with on a daily basis. Unfreaking believable. You don't have a choice. So the hell I don't. Watch me. We're all the same. Sylvia, change at OPCC 2 years ago. We're all the same, Sylvia. Change 2 years ago at OPCC. I'm like, no, thanks. We're not all the same, and I hate apologizing for myself all the time. This is the this is page AZ. This is the third page. This is one of the pages in here. Question: when did you first become aware of your race? That's what it says here. Great page. It says it's really cool. It's like it's really nice. Question: when did you first become aware of your race? Quote, in elementary school, I remember very vividly having a fight with kids on the playground because they said I needed a green card and I didn't know what that meant. I went home to my grandparents just absolutely upset. That was the first time I realized I might be perceived as something different. As Teresa Benitez Thompson, 36, is a Reno social worker and Nevada state lawmaker. Very cool. And it's when I first came, quote, when I first came to the U.S. in 1979, I saw the big difference. It's not like in El Salvador where we are all Latino. Here you could see El Salvador where we're Latino. Here you could see the differences in everything, not just the difference in how we conduct ourselves, but also how we eat, drink, or even how we have fun. Carlos Castro, 60, is owner of Todos Supermarkets in Woodbridge, Virginia. Very nice. Quote, as a black person in America, you're made aware of race at a very young age. I can remember back as early as first grade being conscious of being black. Another thing that makes you realize your race in America is the media. You watch a lot of TV shows, and the people don't look like you. Chad Golden, 27, works for a healthcare company in Louisville. Quote, that would be in elementary school. Our family moved to the Philadelphia main line from West Philadelphia, and it was the first time when being black made me feel different. Everything I did, going to school, making friends, meeting people, every new situation reminded me that I was an outsider. Melinda D. Anderson, 51, is a Washington, D.C. based writer. Very cool. Wonderful. I do appreciate work like this. It's nice to see. It's kind of refreshing, you know, considering everything that I've been put through regarding hate crime, sexism, and racism has been brutal, and they question my intelligence. How do you know so much? I'm like, you know, dude, I'm an educated woman. What part of that did you not understand? I'm like, are your brain cells white? Because there's nothing else there, man. You know, I'm like thinking to myself, throw the dogs a bone, and chew on that, bitches. You know, I'm a writer. I've been, AP writer since I was like 2. I took AP History, placed a 4. AP English, placed a 4. You know, I'm like placed out of English in high school, so I didn't take any English classes in college. But I'm getting to myself at one point, maybe that would have been easier, you know? Like, not funny. Anyway, quote, gosh, I wouldn't know. I really don't. As far as being aware of different races, that's so long ago, I couldn't tell you when that happened. A normal white person, I said, this is very nice. Carl Crane, 60, is an auto repair shop owner in Easley, South Carolina. Very nice. Very nice. Very cool. I see what they're doing. Very nice. Remember, quote, I was 3. I was wondering why my parents were so particular about what color my dolls were. I was like, what's the big deal? They look like how my friends look. That's when it hit me because all the little kids were white and I was the token black girl. My parents just wanted me to play with dolls that looked like me. Umara Elliott, 19, of New York City, is a professional dancer. Interesting name. Very nice. I feel like she could have been my daughter if I would have had. Maybe would have been 4 or 5 by now. I don't want to get into that right now, but would have been black, Italian, and Mexican. And I was told, your baby is blessed not to be alive, Sylvia. Like, I don't talk about the pain and torture they put me through over the years. I have scars that are deep, and I need to, like, I'm used to surviving them, you know, and I've got stuff like the scar on my arm. You can't really see it, but in pictures you'll see it. And I have a tan now, but you can see it a little bit, and so right here, and it's been brutal, and I've come from a place of excruciating pain and experience, and I feel a moral obligation to share it with the world and with other people. I don't take pride in hurting people, especially when they don't deserve it. I'm not a malicious person by nature at all. But I do speak out against abuses, especially when I know that people are innocent or vulnerable. The children, some children have hurt excruciatingly, painfully, and I don't keep my mouth shut about that. I don't, and it angers me that this has gone so far, and that innocent people like children. Wellspring, 3414 4th Avenue, 95817 is one. Rachel's Women's Center is 759 8th Avenue. San Diego, California, 92101, and HREC San Francisco. And They're all in the resource centers, the perpetrators, a lot of them, and it's like Warsaw Ghetto. The resource centers are usually concentrated in poor neighborhoods. Personally, I go directly to downtown where it's centrally located. I don't drive. I don't even know a driver's license, which is funny because I hear some of the people who are going around impersonating me are in motorcycles or in cars. I'm like, I don't even drive. I don't even know how to drive. I don't own a California ID or driver's license. I mean, I don't own. I caught the ID. I don't own a California driver's license. I don't even know how to ride a bicycle. Okay, so some of these details are what kill these people. It's just so stupid. It's just amazing how people get away with stuff with misinformation. If you go onto WikiLeaks and study FOWL, FOWL, you will see what they thrive off: misinformation. They can lie. It's like what Trevor Tim did with his finding a loophole. You can say you can do this, but it's really not legal. And they took off with the NSA loopholes, and I know they know what I'm talking about. Trevor Tim and this little gang. I don't like the Electronic Frontier Foundation or Trevor Tim, but I read their website. I studied them for a while, and in WikiLeaks, and he said something about finding a loophole and NSA with Feinstein, and you can actually get away with something like this because it's not exactly illegal, but you're also leaving out information. As not giving people information or withholding information is also a lie. So they took off on a tangent with the loopholes, and they find tangent in everything you do. It's like reading between the lines or trying to find something between the lines and make it legal. Hold on. I'm by myself.
You can stay.
I can stay? Thank you. What time? Say hi. I'm on Hangout. Okay. Thank you.
Got everything set up for you.
Cool. No funny business.
No funny business.
Cool. Thank you for being a friend. I'll be there in about an hour. Thank you. I'll be outside in about an hour. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm ready to have a sleep myself.
Do you mind? I have another 15, 30 minutes.
Say half an hour.
Half an hour is fine. Thanks a lot, Jimmy. Bye. I'll be there. Okay. There's one person I know named Jimmy, and he's been there for me before, and he's really nice. So I can stay the night up at his place with no funny business. So it's kind of nice. I have a black eye, and so I trust that he won't be funny about it. But I haven't gotten involved with anyone in like 3 years. I'm gonna be weird about it. Asexual, not exactly what I mean. I have the organs and stuff, but I'm just saying, acting too. Hi.
Tacos or tostadas?
Oh wow, tacos. Thank you. Yeah, he's really nice and very cool. And he's a good person. I know that people who have helped me in the past have been retaliated against, so it makes it difficult. It puts them through pain, and they're good people, and it makes me angry. And I'm very conscientious about people being in pain, otherwise I wouldn't be saying anything. I remember Dr. Martin Luther King said, after a while, keeping silent is betrayal, and I read that on Facebook, I think, somewhere on Facebook, and it's the truth. We have a moral obligation. I feel I have a moral obligation to share with the world information that I have to help prevent this from happening to someone else. I don't like seeing people in pain and victims. I know that the perpetrators often are manipulative. When they pull up PTSD Nation, for example, Newsweek would know about that. Domestic violence, they pretend to be victims just to get people close to them. And 2 years ago at the Star of Hope, I was very angry about it because someone actually, I told her, you sat there and you cried in front of me. You had tears in your eyes. And then when I went inside the shelter, someone made fun of me, and she had a little boy, and I'm like, you should have known better, Sylvia, than to trust them. I'm like, my compassion kicks my ass. I'm like, their inhumanity kicks my ass, and I was also thinking, character is how you treat someone who can do nothing for you. I'm like, walk away, walk away, walk away, walk away, walk away. I'm not a violent person by nature, and I'm not prone to violence or retaliating physically. What I do, though, is I pull the pen is mightier than the sword, is it? And if you look on my blog, you will find something that I wrote against them. It was akin to a blackout poetry art by something I read in Austin Kleon's book. I don't like his stuff or Austin Kleon, but yeah. And I said, okay, the minions. I call them minions. I call them short in stature. I call them G. You know, as a ghetto banger, dog, stuff like that. So I at the library in Sacramento. Somebody knew that I would be able to see what it was because I read calling devotional books. I'm a Catholic. They're really tiny, or they're small. It's the one I read. So I saw a blue book, small one, just standing there glaring at me, and I picked it up, and it's like ZZZ, and I'm paraphrasing, ZZZ for the practical napper, for the avidly recumbent. My lower back is killing me because they weren't kidding. By Jennifer Eyre White, Little Women. Like, oh, they're calling me a little woman by some single white female, you know, and Jennifer Eyre White is single white female. And Little Women, Jane Eyre wrote the book, you know, Little Women, and all right. If you go through the book, I have parts of it on Facebook. It's a blue book, and I took pictures of it on Facebook, which is why they keep stealing my camera phones. They keep breaking them, stealing them, kicking me out of the library because they become crazy over what I post on Twitter, what I post on Facebook, what I post on Pinterest. They go crazy over everything I post online. So Jimmy is not involved in this. This is a different Jimmy, not James Zellerbach. James Zellerbach is German, Mexican, and Spanish, and 073071 is his birthday. And he is like an attraction, and I don't appreciate it because I dated him when I was 20 years old in college, and he was a graduate from NYU, so he told me back then. I just graduated, and he was accepted into pre-med at UCLA, but he postponed it and became an EMT and a fireman for Los Angeles County. So I broke up with him at that time, and I'm being honest because I wasn't ready for a serious relationship. And look at what, you know, 20 years later, looks like he may be involved in this, and you know, that would be really weird. That would be more like a fatal attraction, and I don't speak to him at all. But you know, Kelly Quinn, you know, I don't want to get into the whole, you know, he's a Seventh-day Adventist, a believer. And he grew up, and I'm Catholic. I don't think I ever told him I was Catholic, though, but I grew up Catholic, and Seventh-day Adventist is just not my thing either. So, you know, I'm not interested in Seventh-day Adventists. But if he's involved in this, and he probably is more than likely, then he's a fatal attraction. And I really don't appreciate the conflict of interest. Most people should have asked me questions, and I've thrown that out. You know, I'm not an enemy of the state, meaning that I'm not a person of interest in any unsolved or any crime. So they wouldn't call me in for questioning. If they would have called me in for questioning, I would have given them information, you know. So, you know, and I'm like, what do you do when you have information? And, you know, if nobody ever asked me anything. I said years ago, no one ever asked me anything. No one ever asked me, and I was a rookie, you know, and I was green, and I was just, you know, unfortunately, I got, you know, Raul Payan Lomelí, date of birth 8/12/1973. Began political targeting against me at UCLA. I didn't know what to call it at the time. I was deemed eccentric by some people. I'm like, that's not funny, you know. I don't know how to defend myself against this. We saw you coming, a Republican. I'm actually, yeah, I'm pro-Republican, pro-Bush, pro-except Cheney, pro-Rand Paul and Ron Paul, but I am more of a moderate. I'm more of a, I believe in individual and merit, and I think I've been writing about the individual since I was 21, and I was writing for the Daily Bruin Viewpoint columnist in '97, spring or winter quarter. You'd have to go up to the archives at UCLA at Kirchhoff Hall Daily Bruin office, and they date back to the 1920s, I think, which is exciting. And I haven't had, obviously, time to look at it. I haven't read my own columns since I was 21, so I'd be more than ecstatic to look back and, oh, look what I wrote, I was 21, very cool, you know, stuff like that. But they keep getting in my way, and yeah, stuff like that. You know, the stuff that gets to them, their weaknesses. They don't know what mine are, and if they say something now, it's men. That's what they said, and their ego and their pride gets in the way. Go figure. And I told them their weaknesses are their ego and their pride, strong, educated, vocal women, and their perceived clout, their perceived connections, and the people that get them out of everything, And so it's strong, vocal women, Their ego and their pride is number one. They have to be right no matter what. That's what's killing them too. And their perceived clout, their perceived connections. Oh, we have connection to this person. I'm an insider. And Facebook, Instagram, and Facebook, Instagram, something else. No, for example, when somebody when I ask them, I think they say men are her weakness. I'm like, that's like far from the truth. And when somebody in Houston said, "Well, I know what you need, love," I'm like, what the, yeah, I need to survive this crap. I don't need love right now, like a man. It's like I don't associate men with survival. Welcome to their world, because those women do. And you're barking up the wrong tree, bitch. Just saying. I don't whore around. And it's been 3 years since I've gotten involved in, sexually with anyone. I'm not stupid. I'll see you freaks coming a mile away, and I'm like, and I was telling people, I'm in this mode right now. I don't have that in my mind. I just, I'm this mode where and they're thinking, I don't think so, bye-bye. And then they're trying to set me up, and unless it's them or who they dictated, I'm like, that's not going to happen, June 2012, I haven't had a boyfriend or been involved sexually with anyone, and someone tried recently, it went sour. I'm like, I'm not even going to go there, and now I can prove it, like medically speaking, like gynecologists prove it that I've never, not that I have to, that would be pretty barbaric, and I don't need to be doing that, but yeah, I can literally prove it medically, like gynecologists tomorrow, that I'm pretty celibate for obvious reasons. I'm not getting anywhere near these freaks, some people are lying about their age, their identity, where they come from, identity theft. I'm like, I don't think so, bye-bye. So I'm like, no. I'm actually a happy person by myself. I have a self-esteem, and I'm very proud to be who I am. And I love Cesar Chavez because he said, no violence. And I tell him, si se pudo, past tense. It pisses him off every time. No violence, si se puede, si se pudo. It's not for the timid or the weak. You cannot undo social progress once it has begun. You cannot uneducate a man, I'm paraphrasing, or a woman who has learned how to read. And you cannot humiliate a man or a woman, even through rape, who feels pride. And that was by Cesar Chavez, Si Se Puede. He's a good, really, really cool person, really good activist. And we're still here. And I remember in San Francisco, I heard someone say, and she won't be the last, once I'm gone. She won't be the last. There's always going to be good people around, regardless. I'm a conservative and a libertarian, and the goddamn left has been on me for years now. I met Raul Payan Lomelí when I was 18 and a half years old. I'm almost 41 now, and I think I know a thing or two by now. And my grandmother met him one time, and she said, "Ten cuidado con la cara bonita." And for an hour and a half they spoke. I introduced her to him one time, and when I didn't know about him too much. She said, "Ten cuidado con la cara bonita," she said. And my grandma, I love my grandmother. I lived with my grandmother. A lot of people don't know this, but I moved in with my grandmother when I was 14 years old. I lived with my grandmother from 14 to 18. Then I took off to college at the age of 18, and this is where I'm at, graduated eventually. I love my grandmother, for the record. I don't even have a reason to dislike her. I mean, we never had, y tu leche, mija, and go, my grandmother and I were close, but I kept our conversations to myself. That's one thing they don't know, or people don't know. I don't kiss and tell, and I don't tell anyone, no one, about my private life. So you can go out and you'll hear all kinds of crap, but when push comes to shove, no one knows anything about my private life. They don't even know what I wore in college, these white supremacists, doñas. They don't even know what I look like, what I wore in college. I gained over 53 pounds when I was in San Diego because I was on medication that I did not need. I was trying to keep up with the Joneses, to keep up with my disability money, And I did that to myself. Nobody forced me to take those medications. I did it to myself, and I already knew I didn't need them. So that's kind of honest. And I was trying to describe psychological warfare, mind games, and the psychiatrist sat there in front of me and said, and I told him, every time I go out, someone's watching me, someone's stalking me, following me around, persecution. And someone's paranoid, and I'm like, Sylvia, people, you're delusional, you're paranoid. most people don't even go home and think twice about you once they see you. I'm like, ah, fuck. That's not funny. So when you go online and you find things on me, and I did retort to someone, consult the old record, and I was like 31, and that's not funny, man. And I've never had a juvenile record. I've never taken drugs. I was a freaking nerd in high school, and I won the Gene Reynolds Room 222 Leadership Award when I was at Los Angeles High School. I won the Gene Reynolds Room 222 Leadership Award in 1992 for $1,000, and then I won the Leadership Award and the Leadership Award for 250 from the African American Leadership Class at Los Angeles High School. So I was the recipient of that award in '92, and I did a lot of stuff in high school. I was president of a Latino club and the Multicultural Club. I was in the PEP squad, and I was putting on multicultural assemblies. I was a very good public speaker in high school. I was just kind of a nerd and looked accordingly, so I wasn't self-aware, so it came naturally for me to speak in front of a group of people. And so we promoted diversity, multicultural assemblies. I wasn't a power tripper. I was friendly. I was eager and happy, like the nerd that I was. And at home, I was, going through my own teenager emotional stuff when I lived with my grandmother. What I did in high school reflects how I lived with my grandmother. Throughout those 3 years, I lived with my grandmother, and in junior high school as well, 1 year of it. I went to Birmingham High School in the 9th grade. I was happy there, too. Those were the years that I lived with my grandmother, too. And I love my grandmother very much. And the fact that they were put through some stuff really, it's been brutal when I think about my grandmother, but my mom. There's a woman going around saying that she's Sylvia Leticia Morelos, and she's also pretending to be me. And Sylvia Leticia Morelos is my mother's married name, and I realized that recently. It's my mother's married name that an illegal is using. I detest illegals, I really do. And the fact that I'm civil and hypocritical about it. But I know our laws; they can do better. And I don't like illegals at all. They came here illegally to begin with. They kicked me out illegally out of my own home twice. And the first time they kept my disability money, Tina White. And they are associated with Nancy Durthik, who reeled me in as one of the little Catholics, like you see in Doodle the Google Oogle book. Now you know why I make fun of that book. And I'm thinking, no wonder Chris Gillibo hates me so much. That piece of shit, I've been making fun of him for years, and then the first time I thought I knew about him, I started laughing at him. I go, dude, that's the kind of vibe you bring out, man. I started cracking up. At one point, I'm like, get the hell away from me. And when I found out that his cult was following me around in Santa Monica and him, get the fuck away from me. I said, I don't have any dowry, mean anything to you? Am I the prize at the end of your rainbow? I told him. I was laughing, Christopher. Oh, they can't stand me. And in Houston, when I was on the bus in Houston, Michael Juan, I was hearing this technology crap like voice to skull and direct conversation. I know about MK Ultra and Quantum Temporal, and no, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I know it's similar to what happened now with the NIH, the National Institute of Health in the 1960s, all that stuff all over again. And so he told me, do you effect change? I'm like, looking at him like, what the fuck are you talking about now? Do I effect change? I'm thinking there, I'm on the bus, I'm like, I'm thinking, give me a minute, humoring him, like, 4 quarters for $1 mean anything to you? And I'm like, the next thing I know, I was on the floor, my ankle started hurting pretty bad, I'm like, ow! Furious. They were enraged, and like I affected the very ego and pride, go figure, or whatever the fuck that means. So I'm like, define sadism, Sylvia. I'm like, oh shit, I think he's afraid of me. I think he's afraid of me. It dawned on me after, oh god, I think this fucker's afraid of me. Define sadism. Words cut deep, do they? And then when they came out with ZZZ for the practical napper, for the avidly recumbent, you have no idea what they've done to my lower back in the past 2 years. It falls and all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, and I was down on the floor, and they're like, and then they couldn't help themselves. Short in stature, ROA. I'm like, I physically hurt a lot, but they're like cut deep down inside, and they're publishing books left and right. I think I put a book on there by Happiness is How You Do Things or whatever, and by Dodinsky, the Department of Defense in the Sky is what they're. They're hurting, and they're pulling a Guilford Press. With an N. The social science. What is it? The person who wrote it. I put the author's name and the Guilford Press online. I wasn't able to type it up verbatim, but I did type it up verbatim on DHS, and they don't know that. And the NIH flyer and that I found with Lina Orozco's picture on it, I found that on fourth and wellness program at the San Diego downtown library at 330 Park Boulevard. So hey, how are you?
Good. I just ordered a stuffed Taco Bell and I'm sleeping. I got your bed all set up. So like in 10 minutes we're gonna.
No problem. Thank you. How are you feeling?
Good. Just sleepy. I'm not gonna
say hi.
sleep. Hello.
That's Jimmy.
This is my bestest friend. She comes to me for donuts because she knows I'm the donut guy.
He's really cool.
I'm the donut guy. Stan's Donuts.
Hi. I'll see you in a little bit.
Yeah, you get the food. I already ordered, paid for it and everything. 10 minutes.
No problem. Okay. Thank you. See you in a little bit. Anyway, I'm going to stay overnight at his place, and he's not going to call anything. But he's been reliable before. When there's been someone else too, David Griffin, and both of them have been there for me when I've been like really hungry. You know, I'm a very proud person, and I literally won't ask for help unless I'm having hunger pain. I'm just that stupid or that proud. It's just I don't know. I couldn't see straight for a while. I'm used to doing things by myself. And I'm used to feeding myself, being independent, so I don't whore around, and I don't need to apologize for that. But you think it would have been easier for me to do something like that, and for me to be safer or something. But I don't. I take pride in who I am, and I take pride in my self-respect. And my name, and I was brought up that way. You know, my grandmother and my mom were. I come from a family of matriarchs, and they taught me self-sufficiency when I was little. They taught me how I was the oldest one in the family. And I took care of my 3 little brothers when they were little, or 2 little brothers. And my grandmother took me in when I no longer wanted to keep moving around from school to school to school to school. And I don't tell anyone anything, and I think that's important to keep your private information to yourself. It works to your advantage, not to a stranger or a terrorist who can take, or so I'm dealing with extremists, who will take advantage of that. They don't know that. So they make up all these things like, you know, these are the facts, and I'm like, whatever, you know, they slander me, and I'm thinking I'm always learning something new about myself, like every day or every week. Last week I was supposedly a leader of a gang, and then the next week I was one person called me Mother Goose, I think, and then another person called me that I'm doing drugs with Ana Ayala, and I was saying, I'm like, that's what? And another person said, La puta de Sylvia. I'm like, oh, freaking A. You know, like, holy crap. That's not funny. You know, I'm like not even anywhere near these people, and this is what coming back to me. You know, and at one point somebody I called myself Madame President because they figured I'd run for president eventually. I'm like, you know what, that is so not funny. And I'm thinking, you know, I learn something new about myself every day. It's totally hilarious in that respect. But then it's been, I think the humor takes away from coming from them. Their stupidity, I think, takes away from the seriousness of what and who they are. 9/11, Boston bombings, New York train derailment. So they're all the same group of people. Raul Fayalo Malay included. And you know, well, he's the one. This is how the political targeting began from him at UCLA. And now my grandmother's dead, my mom's dead, my baby's dead, and it's not something I intend to let go. And I am actually, I'm a citizen journalist and a writer, and a citizen journalist and a writer, and the live broadcasts help a lot. And I'm going to be leaving in a couple of minutes, but anyway, I am going to I lost my train of thought. I take pride in who I am, and that's one thing I encourage people to. I've always been who I am in front of everyone. I don't lie about who I am with regards to how. I mean, period. I've always been strong. I've always been a conservative, libertarian, pro-Republican, and I don't like extremists on the left, extremists on the right, right wing, extreme right wing. I don't like at all. I have a better head on my shoulders than that. I don't believe in beating up women. I don't believe in women who do. I don't believe in misogyny, and I don't support it. So they're barking up the wrong tree, especially Obama. And when he's been trying to also to get me to bow down in humility, because I humiliated the shit out of them. If you look at Hillary's 2016 presidential campaign flyer, they catered it to me, and it's kind of funny because I was laughing about it, but I'm like, oh, that's kind of stupid, and I tore it up. I'm like, wait. Oh, no. I can't find the other piece. I started laughing. It might look interesting to me in the future, And it's like, dear Sylvia, so here's the deal. We've been down this road before, and then the second stanza, I'm like, we've been down this road before, and we learned the hard way that there ain't nothing in life for free. Look at the misers. Look at the misers. And I'm 2 years ago to disable to disable. And I was thinking about somebody named I was thinking about Bell in LPDC. To disable the enabled, I was thinking to myself, and so I see enable on the flyer, on the mailer, and I see special entries. I'm like, oh, that's their shit. And 33 million. I guess is it 3 million, Ellen, or is it 3 million people or $3 million, Ellen? And there's 30,000, and if you look at the flyer, the mailer, and like the Hillary campaign 2016, and I guess tailored to me, I go, that's interesting. I single-handedly broke down the Democrats, or took the Democrats down. That's kind of funny. They can't stand me. I'm like their number one enemy on their hit list, man. It's really funny. It really is. I'm like, oh wow, here comes the Tea Party. I'm like, oh, no. I hate the Tea Party. Extremists on the left, extremists on the right, and they're cronies, man. They hate me. They really do. Which I take pride in. I go, well, only evil people hate me, so that's kind of nice. Sex offenders, child molesters, rapists, criminals, corrupt politicians, the Democrats, the Tea Party, thieves. I gotta go. This is Sylvia, Lydia, Morelos, and I am about to leave. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.
All right, bye. You're breaking apart over here.
Yeah.
We're spilling.